Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Fuel for Success. This is episode number 207 on a beautiful Friday in October. Hey, thanks, everybody, for being here, for sticking with us. My good friend and co-host, Matt, is broadcasting from Alexandria, Louisiana, and there's some technical issues, and I'm broadcasting from a undisclosed location in the upper Midwest. And so it's good to see everybody here. We did get mostly working. And technology is a beautiful, wonderful, amazing thing, and I just keep telling myself that. When it works, it's awesome.
Hey, I tell you what, it does help in life when your best friend and business partner is a technology guru. That is a blessing. I mean, that is. But, you know, it's just one of those things where Mike continuously says, not even I can fix stupid, you know?
Yeah.
So, hey, but we're here and looking forward to today's show. And this is one of our favorite shows, Mike. Yeah?
Just as a clarification, when I said that, I was talking about the developer that wrote the little piece of code that's preventing you from getting a faster connection. I'm not talking about my friend Matt.
No. Thank you, Mike. See, that's how just true you are. I appreciate the clarification, man.
I thought people might misconstrue that, so.
Yeah, good to see that you and Carol are on a little getaway, just enjoying a little quality, romantic, fun, just husband and wife time, no kids, no business. The only business is a little fuel for success, which we all appreciate, and trust you guys are having a nice time, man.
You know, we are, and the thing is, my daughter's up in St. Cloud for a youth weekend with the youth group, and I'd actually looked at my calendar and realized that this was the first weekend that I hadn't scheduled anything, that I wasn't booked since sometime in July. And so we said, you know what, we should probably take advantage of this.
It's amazing how it feels to have a free weekend. It's almost like you don't know what to do with yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like it's you know what I mean? It's rare, isn't it? Isn't it rare to have like a weekend where there's no schedule, there's nothing to do, and you're like, wow, I can actually like get out of town for once.
Yeah, that's right. And so, you know, I think it's important, especially in a marriage, you know, to take advantage of those situations. Say, you know what, let's get some alone time. You know, you and I, and we've been married 22 years, so you know, honestly, stuff like this is a little less frequent than I would like, but you know, you just got to take advantage of it. And you know, sometimes you have to do what you have to do. We're doing it on a fairly low budget this weekend, you know, but I think it's good to set a budget anyways. So
yeah,
you don't have to spend a lot of money to have fun.
Hey, at the end of the day, it's like when our kids tell us, you know, hey, of all the things that we've done, you know, you could have taken your kids to like a 3-day Disney trip, maybe like, you know, you take them out on like, you know, I don't know, some big, massively expensive vacation. You're like, hey, what was the funnest memory, you know, of all? And I did this with Caleb the other day, and he's been on amazing vacations. I mean, I'm talking like unbelievable memories. And this one, no joke. I said, Caleb, what was your favorite memory of all vacations that we've ever taken? And I walked him through, you know, possible, you know, maybe going to like the New York Knicks game on, you know, Christmas Eve in New York City, you know, different things in New York, Yankee Stadium. I mean, you name it, right? You know, things that we've done. He said, you know, that time when we got stuck in the snow on our way up to the mountain up to our cabin in Gatlinburg? He was like, that was the funnest night of my life. And I'm like, you know something, Mike? That didn't cost me anything. It is amazing. We look back and it's like, you ask your kids what in your, I'm sure the families of this, you know, husbands and wives are the same way. At the end of the day, Mike, you know what? Sometimes we'll all look back and think, you know what? The times when we were just broke and had nothing were some of the happiest days of our life, you know?
Yeah.
But then, you know what? I also want to make it to where I say, hey, when I was filthy rich and loaded and on that cruise in Europe, were some of the happiest days of my life too. You know what I'm saying?
Life is about balance, right? Yeah, I'm with you on that. We actually, I mean, we had a great time. My wife loves to let me clarify this. She loves to shop, but she doesn't like to spend money, and so she loves deals. And we were actually walking. In downtown Minneapolis. There's like this Nicollet Mall area, and there was a huge farmers market there. So we bought some apples, grapes, some fresh stuff, and like there were these people giving away free stuff like the stevia. What is that? What was that sugar? Truvia. They were like doing a little like guerrilla marketing on the street, and Carol got like this free bag of sugar. She's like, "Man, this is awesome!" And we went to have a cup of coffee at Keys Cafe, and she gave it to the waitress. So it was just fun.
Because you wouldn't want to put that in your body, right? That's what you're saying.
Well, the waitress was like, "Oh my gosh, it was brown sugar! I can't believe they make brown sugar now. That's the one thing." She was just freaking out, and Carol's like, "You want it?" Gave it to her. So. But it was fun.
That's the heart of Carol.
Yeah, and so here, Al said something about keeping it fresh. I'll tell you how you keep things fresh is you care about the details that matter to your spouse. And so, one of the things that she's been looking for since it's fall, and she's got some, fall wardrobe. It's guys are like you put on a shirt and pants. It's like whatever. But women have it's like fall wardrobe, winter wardrobe. Different colors. You have like these autumn colors, and so she found these tights on sale at Target or whatever, but no orange ones, and she wants burnt orange ones. So I'm like, we're going to find some burnt orange tights.
Did you find any?
Not yet, but it's a quest. You know what I'm saying?
I don't have a lot of shoes. Al.
Burnt orange tights, Carol. I'd like a little explanation on that.
It's fall colors, because it's fall. Boots and the whole bit. I don't know. I'm not a fashion guy, right? I'm like, does this shirt look okay? Yeah, okay, good. Put it on. So
nice, man. Well, I'm happy for you guys, man. Since today is our show on family and relationships, it's fitting to share that. And I agree with you. I don't think that families, married couples, fathers and daughters, fathers and sons, mothers and sons, I don't think they do enough random stuff.
Yeah.
Spontaneous. Just, hey, pack up, let's go. Like spur of the moment. Everything else will be here when we get back. There's always going to be to-do lists in life. See, this is what I tell people all the time. Listen, I don't even know what it's like not to have a to-do list. Like, how Tony Robbins teaches, always capture everything that's out of your mind, put it on paper for every category of your life, family, children, business, spiritual, health, you name it. Mike, with all that we've got going on, literally, I don't care if we worked from today until next year, 18 hours a day, I assure you, we wouldn't even come close to getting our to-do list done.
No.
So in life, you sometimes just got to unplug. You literally just got to say, that's it. I'm out. It'll be here when I get back. I don't care, and just do it. There's never a perfect time. So I tell young couples, hey, there's never a perfect time to get married. Just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. Like, if you're going to wait till the perfect time when you've got everything together, and of course that's a whole nother topic and discussion, but no, I think sometimes we need to be more spontaneous, spur of the moment, and just say, hey, let's try it. Let's go. Even if it's a one-nighter.
Yeah, for sure. And there's inexpensive options. And that's, most people's hang up is, it's going to cost a lot of money. I don't have the money to do it, whatever. It's like, sometimes it doesn't have to be expensive. So, find good deals, find inexpensive options and go with that. And like we said before, it's not necessarily the expensive things that you remember anyways. And
what? Go ahead. No, you first. I insist.
I was going to say, I used to all the time, Carol doesn't say this anymore, but she used to use the phrase all the time, when things calm down, right? She'd say, like in a week or so when things calm down, then we'll X, Y, Z. Yeah, it never calms down. That's an illusion. Don't kid yourself. It's not going to calm down.
Never going to calm down, my friend. Hey, listen, speaking of vacation, Caleb and I live literally 10 minutes from one of the most beautiful beaches on earth. And so many times our vacations, we go stay in a hotel on a beach for, 3 or 4 nights. And And I'm like, hey, Caleb, people come from all over America to vacation here. We don't have to fly. We don't have to pack hardly anything. We live 10 minutes away.
Yeah.
And it's cool. It's fun. It's a blast. It's like, why not? I mean, it's like a cool experience to vacation in your own city. Sometimes we go to all these other places and we forget the beauty and magic of our own city that we live in.
It's good. Yeah, I agree.
New Smyrna Beach, Hannah, is McDonald's. My beach is Ruth's Chris. Just letting you know. Mike, speaking of relationships, kind of shifting focus for a minute. I got to hang out last night with Anthony and Mickey Mangan at a little hole in the wall, which I love.
Yeah.
And it was an awesome, I've been blessed to hang out with some amazing, great people. And through the years. And a couple of things I was thinking of. First of all, Mike and I love hole in the walls. In my travels, rarely will you ever catch me eating at a chain when I'm traveling. Like, first of all, I would almost never eat at a place on the road that I can get at home. So when Pastor Anthony picked me up last night, he said, I'm going to take you to a place you ain't never been to. He said, Harley, I'm telling you, it's the best barbecue you ever have in your life. Man, we went in the hood of the hood of the hood, my friend. I mean, it reminded me of a Mission 25, man. And we went down there, and you talk about barbecue. We went in this little place. I mean, it was smaller than it was like a trailer. I mean, it was so small, it was so cozy. It was amazing, and the best barbecue that you've ever had. The owner's name's Willie. You know that if a brother named Willie owns the barbecue joint, it's going to be good.
Willie's going to be good barbecue.
He was such a cool guy. And anyways, we were talking last night, and we just started talking about, they have some interns here. And I come in, when I'm here every year, I teach the interns 4 hours. I taught them 2 hours yesterday, and I'm teaching them 2 hours this morning, actually. And I was telling the interns yesterday about how to act around your mentors, what to do and what not to do, how to find mentors. And I started talking about the power of conversation and questions. And Mike, I want to kind of throw this out there because this is our relationship show, our family show, our show about, family and relationships. And anyways, long story short, I was telling those kids, my son was coached by a Major League Baseball player, okay? I told him, Caleb, don't ever get in his presence and not ask questions. I don't care if it's 5 minutes. And if you ever see him, kind of, sometimes he would just kind of stand there and watch the next game. Always come to every single practice and game with 3 to 5 questions. And I was sharing this to these interns.
Yeah.
And I told them yesterday, guys, never get in the presence of greatness and don't ask questions. The biggest mistake that I've seen people make around greatness, around successful people, is, and this is why I believe some people don't attract mentors in their life, because we haven't been taught how to act around them. One of the mistakes I see people make is talk too much, tell too many stories, they try to sell themselves by maybe telling a story. Like I've watched it happen around Lee Stoneking, Kenneth Haney, Anthony Mangan, Jack Cunningham, you name it, the greatest of the greats. I've watched people walk up to them and maybe they've had 3 minutes. Even Vesta Mangan, I've seen it, people go up to Jeff Arnold, Vesta Mangan, have like 3 minutes of their attention and tell them a story. I'm like, are you kidding? That's what blogs are for. Like, never do that. Like, you should ask them a question. Mike, I've had people pick me up. I've had younger guys. Speaking of relationships, look who's calling. He's off school today. Caleb, what's going on? Hey, I'm on Fuel for Success, man.
What's up, Caleb?
Mike wants to say hi to you. Say hi to everybody.
What's up, Caleb?
Give them your...
What are you doing?
Huh? What are you doing? What are you doing? You off school today? Hey, I love you. Okay, about time you got up. My God. I'll call you after my show. Say goodbye to Mike.
See you, Caleb. Have a good Friday, man. Love you, buddy.
Hey.
Hey, if at all humanly possible, I always answer my son's call when he calls. Just because, you know, I always want him to feel like he can access his dad. You know what I'm saying? If possible. But anyways, listen to this. You know, I've had people pick me up, literally younger guys, and talk the whole time. I'm like, you're out of your mind crazy that you had this. And I'm not saying,
Right.
you know, but I mean, I've had some experience. Like, why would you have an hour in a car with me and tell me all these stories? Like, you're better off putting these stories on video or a blog and saying, hey, if you don't mind, go check out my blogs. Like, I would go read someone's blog, right? But I've seen it happen, Mike. One of the biggest mistakes is a lack of good question asking. You know, like these interns are going to TF Tenney's house Monday night to have dinner. Just them.
Wow.
Them and TF Tenney. I said, your homework for today is I want to see 21 questions you're going to ask him. Because here they are. They have access to Vesta Mangan, Anthony Mangan, Mickey Mangan, you know, TF Tenney, Terry Schock. The list goes on. The Marshalls. And I said, guys, you have the opportunity of a lifetime. And this is one thing that turns mentors off from wanting to invest in people is mentors are looking for something. They're looking, there's a look in your eye. You know, there's got to be a fire. They've got to sense your eagerness to learn. If you're ever in the presence of somebody great and they don't sense that you want to learn, it's almost like they tune you out. Not because they think they're better than you, but people that are true greatness, true success, they want to share. But they'll only share to people that will listen. And, you know, so, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's so important when you get around successful people, mentors like your boss, you know, or let's say the CEO of the company comes in. Don't come up and tell them a story. I see this happen too many times. I'm like, why would you not use that 2 minutes to ask as many questions as you can? I do that all the time, Mike, literally. From the time that Anthony Mangan picked me up last night till he dropped me off, I promise you, it was nothing. I didn't tell him any story. I never told him one story about Mission 25. I never told him one story about my juice book. I never told him one story about anything. You know why? It wasn't the time. He follows me on Twitter, so he knows about my juice book. He knows about Mission 25, right?
Right.
I use that time to learn and ask questions. And I challenge all of you from this day forward, don't miss learning opportunities in the presence of great people.
I like that. And, you know, a lot of those, you know, what you're saying about asking questions and you know, I think it was Dale Carnegie in How to Win Friends and Influence People said, you know, you'll really gain more friends by showing interest in someone else. I mean, that's the concept. Don't walk up to someone that, you know, you would love to know more about and then tell them about you. That doesn't make any sense. Show interest in what they have to say. It's just good relationship.
You know, Mike, that is awesome. And I'll tell you this. I love what Stacy Bishop said right here. She said, you're helping, Matt. I have a lunch date with the ladies president of Tennessee so I can learn from her. I understand how to spend the time now. And I'll say that Stacy's an awesome person. Her and her husband, Matt, are just, they're gold. Always do this type of stuff. You would be surprised how many people that you could actually get to see you for Starbucks or lunch or what I call a learning lunch. You know, I try to schedule one a week. I really do. Even if it's on phone, Skype, in person. And a lot of times, Mike, how I've been able to access a lot of maybe successful, famous people is I've just come out and asked, hey, how do I get, 10 minutes of your time? And, I'll give you an example, okay? And I meant this last night, okay? I know Anthony Mangan is probably one of the busiest people you'll ever meet in your life, And, he called me and he asked me what I was doing, and I told him I'm just getting some work done. And he'd had like 11 funerals and like 5. I mean, you can't even imagine how busy he's been. And, I just said, I was just, checking on you. And he said, what are you doing for dinner? And I said, I'll probably just grab whatever. And he said, well, maybe we can get together. I said, listen, I said, you know me, I would love every spare minute I could get with you, but I need you to know that I completely understand if you just want to rest tonight, because I know you've been busy, you're exhausted. It's not going to hurt my feelings. I'm not going to feel upset, because he's trying to be hospitable. I'm here speaking for him, and he's just extremely classy and like that, taking care of his guests and whatnot, and he knows we have a mentoring relationship. He knows I like to pick his brain and ask questions. But you've got to be respectful of their time. They've got to feel that from you. And honestly, I truly believe, he could feel from me that, hey, I totally know you're busy, so please don't feel like you have to take me out to eat. I'm cool. I can just grab something to eat. We can maybe hang out Saturday or whatnot. But you got to learn to convey this to people that, we've got to start getting mentors. We've got to start learning. And a lot of times, if all you get is 10 minutes, take it. If all you can get is 5 minutes, take it. Like if you call somebody, let's say you see somebody at a conference and they're walking down the hall and you walk up and say, listen, I know you're busy. I just have 2 quick questions. Well, do it. Ask those 2 quick questions, but make sure they're good questions, If you say, hey, I'd love to, I need 5 minutes. I promise I won't keep you past 5 minutes. Do that. Now, they might keep it going, but at the end of 5 minutes, you say to them, hey, listen, thank you so much. I know you're busy. I respect your time. And you're going to get more and more out of people when you convey that respect and that you ask good questions and you want to learn. Just throwing some extremely practical stuff out there for you guys, if you're in the presence of greatness, mentors, whatnot.
That's great advice, and be authentic about it, right? You want to be genuine about it. Don't use it as a play, because I've seen that too, where, hey, I know you're busy, I only want to take a little bit of your time, and then they'll pull you in for 15 or 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the thing of it is that, here's the deal. You attract what you are, okay? And there's no way to get to the next level without mentors, without people that can speak into your life, without coaches, people that can train you. You know what I did last night? You know what I did? We were in the car and I said, okay, I want to ask you, tell me at least 3 things that you see that I can improve on. I mean, you've got to ask those kind of questions. You've got to give people the ability to speak into your life. What is one thing that I am doing that you think is a mistake? I mean, those are piercing questions. What is something that, and they may say, well, there's nothing. No. If you had to think of just one thing that you think I do that's a mistake, it could be big or small, maybe you might say, I think it's a mistake to cheer for the Florida Gators. You know what I'm saying? Who knows what it is? It always got to be huge, But anyways, Mike, so go ahead.
I've got a question to come in, so I want to transition quickly. This is a different kind of question, and yes, I think it was it yesterday, Lance gave me a shout out on Twitter. Really, both of us, Matt, because he hand wrote notes for his 3 kids, and sent them in their lunches, and they were blown away. And he gave me credit for it, and of course, I got the idea from Matt. So, although we've talked about it on Fuel for Success, and for you parents that aren't doing that, I think Lance will tell you it's a great idea. And so here's a great question from Lance. And this would be a great question to ask someone that you consider a mentor in your life. What are the top 5 daily actions one could take to go from being a good father to a great father?
I think, number 1 is speaking a lot of life, encouragement over your kids, very positive. Very encouraging, identifying their positive traits all the time and speaking them and bragging on them and noticing, hey, Caleb, I'm really proud of you that you put your shoes up. hey, that's awesome, man. I'm proud of you that you know, are reading. You know, always like catching the small things they do right and verbalizing. You know, being extremely loving and affectionate. And really just, it's that quiet, Lance, it's the small things. You know, Mike, I'm on a kick. I can't even tell you. It's the little things, man.
Yeah.
Little things like the way that you look at them, the way you smile when they walk into a room, you know, the way you pay attention to them when they talk. Like really, like you literally turn and like really you look deep in their eyes when they're talking, you know, spending quality time with them. Doing, you know, having fun, making memories, you know, you're doing it, Lance, writing the notes. You know, on the days that I'm not there to write a note in Caleb's lunch, I send him a text every morning and say, this is what would be in your lunch. And he loves that, you know, so things like that. You know, another thing that you can do is pray over your kids. You know, it's extremely bonding when you pray with your kids. I can't even tell you what it's like when I grab Caleb and I pray over him. You know, and that is one action you can take that would make you a great father. Another one, you know, and I'm just throwing them out right off the top of my head here, is, you know, listen to them.
Yeah.
You know, listen to them when you know, listen to their ideas. You know, Caleb comes to me with ideas all the time. You know, spend a lot of time. It's all about quality. And, you know, at the end of the day, Lance, you're going to win if you spend a lot of quality time. So Carol and I are on the same page on that listening there. Yeah. Quality time wins for kids every time. And being the fun dad, being a dad that's positive, being a dad that's, you know, got good vibes, good mood. You know, a lot of dads are moody. A lot of dads are irritable because we're men, we're fighting, we're digging, we're warriors, we're trying to succeed, you know. And then, of course, not being afraid to apologize when you're wrong is another huge one that I think would make a dad a great dad, because a lot of dads make mistakes. So what about you, Mike? I know you're an amazing dad, so I'm sure you got some things to add to this, and I know you do all these things.
Yeah, those are all great points, and I was just going to dive a little bit deeper into listening, because I think that that's such a... And, you know, it seems like almost every show we talk about listening, because people are terrible at it, frankly. And we need to develop skills to listen.
What?
And you know, actually, our friend Travis Haley called me out on Twitter the other day and asked about books on communication. And one of the books I recommended to him, which is Related to Children, it's a fantastic book. It's fundamental, but it's how to talk to your kids so they will listen, and this is the key, and listen so your kids will talk. And the book goes through, you know, techniques that you can use, and a lot of it's just active listening to try and get your kids to open up, and we've talked about some of this on the show, but that's a great book that helps you listen. And it's, you know, and it's as goofy and simple as at the beginning of the show, the burnt orange tights, you know, understanding that that's important to my wife. You know, understanding what's important to my kids is also critical. I mean, you can listen, but if you miss, you know, the things that they're really saying, that they're really are important in their life at this moment. Like for my daughter right now, she's in her senior year. She's talking about college. She's talking about different things, and there's some subtleties. And Matt, you're exactly right about the small things. There's some subtleties in what she's saying that you have to listen to and pick up on. And what she's really, you know, talking to me about, and Don's exactly right, details matter. All the details make a huge difference. And so pay attention to the little details of what they're saying, and you'll begin to see a trend. And she's trying to make a decision, and the last thing I want to do is push her into a decision, but she's really asking me for, you know, advice and input on, you know, the direction that she's taking with you know, where to go to school and what to do next in life. And you know, I'm kind of picking up on the anxiety that she's having towards it. And so as a father, then, you know, that's where you look at the situation and find ways to speak, you know, positive affirmations into her life and help her, you know, be comfortable with knowing that, you know, even if she doesn't succeed initially, that she's going to be successful. That initial fear of anxiety.
That's gold. It's gold, and it's so true, because, guys, here's the deal about getting kids to open up. You got to understand, like, I've learned when I pick Caleb up from school, I do not start off talking about his classes, you know, any of that. I keep it. I'll ask. You got to lead your way into deeper conversation with kids, or they'll close up if they feel. You got to be smooth. They can't even see it coming, because if they see it coming, most kids they don't want to open up to their parents. You know what I mean? So, like, a lot of times, maybe like, my son might go have a sleepover with, which, sleepovers is something we should talk about. But he might go have a sleepover at some big birthday party or whatever, and we're talking about 12, 13-year-old boys, which, that can be a risk in many ways. So I'm not going to, like, come out and say, did you guys watch anything or look at anything you shouldn't have, right when I pick him up? Are you kidding me? Like, that's the worst thing to do to a kid. But I see parents make this mistake all the time. They immediately, like, go for the kill. And you can't do that with kids. You've got to create a safe environment and get them to start opening up, which I know we're almost out of time, but man, this is so important for parents to realize that they're actually causing their kids to close up by the way that they're approaching them and communicating with them. And I love what you said, Mike, about listening, but it's not just listening. It's a deeper level of listening. It's like listening, hear me, and really catching what's being said. It's like it's listening to the message inside the message inside the message. It's the body language. It's the way their eyes move. It's their tone of voice. You're really that's why, this can destroy families. This can destroy people because, this is beautiful, and it's also bad because I've watched people nonstop. Every time this goes off, they turn. I mean, you can be in the most deep conversation and their texts go off and they turn.
Yeah.
We got to fix that. Especially when we're in a moment. And Mike and I both have talked about this. If you want to have deep, meaningful communication with your kids, get them into, when Caleb and I went on a hike the other day, deep into the woods, the first mile, there wasn't no deep talk, purposely, because I didn't lead it that way. I was leading into it. But man, about a mile into our hike, man, he was telling me everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
Hey, Matt, I know you got to run, so I just want to remind you the time here because we ran a little bit late to start. So thanks to our resident fashion consultant, Hannah. Thank you so much for the fashion tips. And
I missed it.
She found a pair of tights for Carol on eBay and then recommended some shoes and sweater to go with it. So
nice. Well, hey. It's been a great week of Fuel for Success. Thanks for the flexibility. We had to do our show later the other day because of travel, and then, of course, today because of technology. But what we love is all these shows are archived, so even if you're not able to watch live, major shout-out to all those that watch on the archives. We love our live audience. We love them. I feel like I know all these people. I read all the comments and appreciate it. And then, of course, really appreciate the hard work that Mike does. Look, he's out relaxing and he still commits to get up and do the show today. Could have easily just said, hey, I want to sleep in because he rarely ever gets to do that. But hey, Mike, thank you, man. You guys have a blast. We love you and appreciate you so much and enjoy yourselves, man.
Hey, have a great weekend in Alexandria. I'm sure we'll be talking to you soon. And all of our listeners and viewers, God bless you. Have an awesome weekend.
Yes, God bless, my friends.